Hey everyone, welcome to Faith Power Fulfillment. I'm Connor.
And I'm Stephanie.
Today we want to talk to you about attitude.
So in case you haven't looked it up in the dictionary, Merriam-Webster defines attitude as your mental position in regards to a fact or state. And since it is a mental position, it's something that you can change. And we're here to talk to you today about how you can change that mental position to affect many different areas of your life. And we all know what it looks like when you have a bad attitude.
No pomegranates! No pomegranates! None! I don't want them anywhere near here. Am I clear?
Talk to me if you have a problem.
Okay, yeah, and I'll definitely be. Do you have a higher up? Do you have anything else?
No, I'm the owner of the company.
Okay, well that was very rude. How she definitely
It
talked
literally
to me.
says do not pet on every
You
single
should
dog's
have a
vest.
sign. Number one.
There
Number
is
two.
like 4 signs. You
Hi.
Please. I've been happy to educate thousands of millions of generations of kids, but I don't appreciate you should let them sleep.
Anyways, it's always good to have a good attitude, and I just thought I'd like to hear a couple of Bible verses that have definitely helped me in my life. The first verse is Ephesians 4, verses 22 through 23. It says, "You were taught with regard to your former way of life, to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds." So, Stephanie, what's an example of a bad attitude in your life?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, honestly, when I can think of that I had a really bad attitude, I was about 10 years old, I'd say, and playing Little League basketball. We'd lost every game that season. We were a horrible little basketball team. Cute, though, mind you. And it was the last minutes of the last game, and I just kind of had this moment where I realized that we were going to lose. We're not going to win a single game. I was filled with seething anger. And I was doing whatever you call it, throwing it in.
Passing the ball?
No, throwing it in out of bounds after a foul.
Okay.
Goodness, I played basketball, I swear, for a brief amount of time. Clearly I wasn't good. And so I was throwing it in, and I just threw it over the girl's head as hard as I could because I was just so upset. Threw it all the way across the basketball court. So, basically, if we lost with flair. But my bad attitude served nothing in that moment other than to humiliate me and my team. It just made me look like a spoiled brat who was upset about losing. You know? And if anything, it just caused more problems. The team, the coach.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to the verse, like it says, we're supposed to turn from our old self and become new. Another verse I'd like to show y'all is 1 Peter 4:1. It says, "Therefore, since Christ suffered in his body, arm yourselves also with the same attitude, because whoever suffers in the body is done with sin." And basically, when we arm ourselves with the attitude of Christ, we can overcome the sin in our lives. People tend to sin when they have a bad attitude. When you have a good attitude, it helps us to keep away from sinning. Not necessarily that you won't experience, temptation or anything like that, but I can't think of a time, when I actually sinned when I had a good attitude. So,
I think that my sin has often come from a place of selfishness, that I've put myself, what I wanted, before God's plan for my life. for God's calling. So the kind of attitude that we're called to here is putting Christ first, putting his ideals above our own. So the opposite of good attitude really is selfishness.
Yeah, attitude plays a big role, in our lives. And one of the things attitude can do, especially with our, the fire inside or passion, if you will, it can either, help it grow, or it can definitely deplete it. So Stephanie, what would you say is an example of, attitude affecting passion, in your life?
Well, when I finished my bachelor's degree, I was burnt out. I was super burnt out, and I said all along, I'm never going back to school. Never, ever, ever going back to school. I meant it. But I think that really hindered me in my career development. Obviously, I'm back in school now. I'm pursuing my master's in counseling, and my unwillingness to go back to school and kind of resentment towards that whole idea, my bad attitude, put my whole career on hold for a little while, and hindered God's plan for me, or slowed it down.
Attitude can definitely drain you, and just deplete your passions in life. I know definitely several things that I wanted to pursue in life that with a bad attitude, I just didn't really feel like doing them at all, and never really went through with anything. And unfortunately, because of that, I could be a lot further along today than I would have been. But can't worry about what ifs. But definitely having a good attitude could definitely have helped with that situation. So, an attitude even further goes into, your satisfaction in life, your fulfillment, how you're fulfilled, what you do that just fills you up. And I know one of the things for me is definitely doing things like this video, and I have several passions in life that I'm trying to pursue that help fulfill me, and some have a deeper meaning, as well as others that are more hobby based, but attitude can definitely have an effect on that.
So your attitude doesn't just affect that fire, that passion. It can affect your fulfillment and your future in life. I'd say that your attitude has a really big effect on the satisfaction and joy that you get out of the things that you do. Like if you go and volunteer at something and you have a gripey, grumbly attitude, then you're not going to get anything out of it, and you're not going to really be able to give with that servant's heart that we're called to as Christ followers. But if you go in there with that servant's heart, you're going to be able to give and give abundantly.
And Christ also calls us to be, the light of the world, and you really can't do that with a bad attitude. With a good attitude, you can better be a Christian, an example that other people can look up to, that you need to be. We're supposed to be Christ-like, and we are what represents Christianity, and it's definitely something that all of us, should take in consideration. Life is too short to just simply live with a bad attitude.
So what are some things that make up a good attitude? So I talked about that spirit of giving. The heart of it is having a Christ-like attitude, trying to emulate Christ's love in everything that we do. So in Ephesians 4:24, it says to put on a new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness.
Yeah, and a great way, to have a good attitude throughout the day, I would say, is to start your day with an attitude of gratitude. As corny as it sounds, it's one of the best ways to start your day. You'll wake up and you'll be more thankful for what you currently have, what God has blessed you with in your life at the moment, versus all the things that you don't. We tend to focus on all the things we don't have or all the things we want, and that's when the bad attitude tends to make form in our lives. And it tends to consume us because then we focus on that one aspect of our lives and forget about the rest.
So many times in our prayer lives, we tend to focus on what we're asking for. Ask. But one of the things that I was taught to do early on is first to start with praise and thankfulness, because focusing on that gratitude is so important. It sets the tone to really be able to commune with God, but also to go about your day. I loved what you talked about with having an attitude of gratitude, because it really shapes the lens in which we view the world. It's so easy to have an attitude of ingratitude.
Yes, it is. We so easily can start our mornings. I know when I wake up in the morning, I'm not a morning person by any means, and that for sure can just make or break your day right there. It's your choice, whether you want to start your day with gratitude or just with some selfish bad attitude that can literally make your day feel even worse or make your day feel better. And just in case y'all wanted some more material on attitude, I'll leave some recommendations in the description below for something y'all can read or watch to get more information on that. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video, and hit that bell notification button so that you can be notified anytime we post any new videos. Thanks for watching.